Coming to you live from Ersprung Gymnasium on the campus of Baldwin Wallace University. Welcome to our coverage of the Yellow Jacket ladies basketball team as they get ready for a pretty important non-conference matchup. They've got the Thunder from Trine University in town here tonight for a big non-conference matchup right before the Christmas holiday. I'm Brendan Gulick, glad to have you on board, and coverage of tonight's game is presented to you by Dan Andrews and Olympic Forest Products. They're a global recycling company. By Papa John's Pizza in Berea, the official pizza provider of BW Athletics. Order online, papajohns.com, or call them locally, 440-891-1900. And by the Oswald Company, they'll handle all of your insurance and risk management needs. So the Yellow Jackets are having a pretty good season if you haven't paid too much attention so far. And if you have, you certainly would understand why. They're 7-0, and the team right now is ranked 14th in the country out of the 450 teams that play Division III women's basketball. They're having a great start to the season with those 7 wins, and frankly, they've had a couple of lopsided wins, including 79-56 over Rochester, and they beat Muskingum in their conference game, first conference road game about a week and a half ago at this point. They beat them by 40, 89-49, coming off a win most recently against Marietta College, having beaten the Pioneers 72-52. But the Yellow Jackets are winning games by an average of more than 19 points per game. They've been really good offensively and, frankly, pretty darn good on the defensive side of the ball as well at the beginning of the season. Well, their opponent tonight has also had a really good start to the year, and believe it or not, perhaps not quite as good as they're used to having. The Trine Thunder, 5-2 on the year. Now, this is a team that's gone to the NCAA tournament 3 years in a row. Their record the last 3 years, 26-3, 26-4, 25-3. They have played some outstanding basketball, but 3 of their better players have graduated. Cassidy Williams, Montana Martin, and the fantastic Brandy Dawson have all moved on. And so Trine this year is very good, but still trying to figure some things out. They are winning games by an average of 21 points per game. Both of their losses are close games and 2 very good teams. I'll tell you more about Trine and the Yellow Jackets along the way. Opening tip goes to BW, and off we go here in Berea. Baldwin Wallace obviously in the gold tops, and Trine will be in the navy blue with white numbers and lettering. Starting lineups for Baldwin Wallace: senior guard Casey Hughes, senior guard Riley Schill, senior guard Kara Marshall, fifth-year senior Hannah Fecht, and sophomore forward Megan Scheibelhut will play in the post. Big reason why the Jackets have been so good early in the year is because of their senior leadership. As Casey Hughes, the senior point guard, puts in a 3 to get things rolling. Trine certainly knows something about riding their senior class, that's for sure. On the other side, the starting lineup for the Trine Thunder includes Kayla Wildman, Tara Benevich, Katie Steers, Shea Herbert, and Kelsey Taylor. This is Taylor spinning through the left side of the key, and she threw one up wildly. Not a big crowd here at 5 o'clock on a Wednesday afternoon, but the Yellow Jacket bench is certainly into the game early on. Scheibelhut in trouble. Hughes goes left side. Marshall lobs into the paint, and Scheibelhut lays it in. Wildman overcommitted. Actually, that was Kelsey Taylor, beg your pardon. Taylor that overcommitted. And so it's 5-0 Baldwin Wallace. Riley Schill's been BW's leading scorer this season at just under 14 points a game. Lily Edwards comes off the bench this year. Reigning freshman of the year in the league a year ago, is also having a good start to the season. More than 10 points and more than 5 rebounds per contest for Lily Edwards. There's a foul in the paint as the Jackets were driving in. Gives us a chance to introduce our officials to you. Sarah Burgess, our head referee. Bob Demonico and Tim Radley are his assistant refs. Speaking of Lily Edwards, she makes a quick appearance. Just less than 2 minutes gone. She's in for Scheibelhut. Hannah Fecht When she decided to come back for a 5th year, the Yellow Jackets knew this team had a chance to be really special. 3 ball from the right side, and Hannah puts it in. She is shooting the lights out this season, and frankly throughout her career. She is 42% from behind the three-point line in now her 92nd career game. And the Jackets will ride that hot hand as long as they can take it. Trine, by the way, pretty darn good at shooting the three-point shot themselves as Taylor tries and misfires from the free throw line. 7:22 left in the opening quarter, and Edwards goes to Fecht into the corner. Riley Schill. I guess it's out of bounds. Boy, I thought Riley got fouled, but no call. Meanwhile, Megan Hensel checking on for BW. How about this Trine defense? They allow, on average, 49 points per game. That's 13th in the country out of 450 teams. So they're tough to score on at the beginning of the season. And they've already picked up 2 big wins in conference play, where they've won the conference title 2 of the last 3 years. Edwards. Boy, Taylor contested that well. Good play by Hensel. Back to Edwards. Hughes up top. Shot clock's at 5, and Casey Hughes misses the layup. Down the right side, Benevich. And they work it around the perimeter. Leading scorer, by the way, for Trine this year is Benevich. She's a pretty decent three-point shooter, although doesn't shoot a lot of them. 11 points plus per game. Here's a 3 on the left wing, and Trine's got their first bucket. Tara Benevich from Chesterfield, Michigan, proud of Dakota High School. Another good quick stop for the Thunder. It's 8-3 BW, 6:20 left opening quarter. In the low paint, Herbert puts it in. 8-5 contest. Baldwin Wallace has shown a willingness this year to go much deeper into their bench than they have in years past. They have a lot of players averaging double-digit minutes per game beyond the starting 5 almost every night. As Hensel has just 5 on the shot clock here. Megan kind of carves her way through the key and draws the foul. There are quite a few players that see a lot of time out on the hard court. So, for the most part, the starting lineup has been Schill, Fecht, Hughes, Marshall, and Scheibelhut, although Sydney Diedrich did start 2 games as Tiffany Bentler comes on for Hannah Fecht. But Lily Edwards, Megan Hensel, Gabby Garrett, Megan Scheibelhut, Sydney Snyder, Sydney Diedrich, Tiffany Bentler, all double-digit minutes per game in addition to the 4 starting senior guards. Gabby Garrett comes on. We got a couple of changes on the other side as well. Sam Underhill has checked on for the Trine Thunder. 10-5, Jackets lead by a handful, approaching the midway point of the first quarter. Well, the idea might have been okay from Katie Steers, but senior out of Portage, Indiana, turns it over. Rachel Stewart also on the floor, sophomore from Pekin, Illinois. Jackets by a handful. This is Gabby Garrett finding Riley Schill wide open for a brief moment. Good recovery from Wildman. I can see why Trine's a good defensive team. Their hands are up all the way around as Edwards gets called for the travel. They close down on you pretty quickly as an open shooter. Let's introduce the head coaches to you. How about Andy Rang? Second year as the full-time head coach, but his 8th year on staff at Trine. And in addition to being the head coach of the basketball team, he is also an assistant athletic director. Trine's a special place to him. They have made some outstanding capital improvements on campus. The new basketball facility at Trine is unbelievably cool. And I'm sure that's helped recruiting quite a bit. Jackets able to at least keep that one in play, and What can they make out of it here in the next 10 seconds? Bettler in trouble. Partially deflected, but not enough to lose possession. This is Hensel. Juggled it on her way. Needs some help. Edwards fades away. No. Another offensive rebound. Shot clock resets to 20. Riley Schill stopped in the middle of the key and uses the backboard. 12-5 Jackets. Here come the Thunder. Trying to find a way to get it into the 6'2 post player, Kelsey Taylor, but Lily Edwards is guarding her well. Meanwhile, Steers down the left side, and she puts one home. 3 minutes, 45 seconds left in the opening quarter. Lob for Edwards in the paint, got deflected. Thunder quickly stop and pop. Steers for two. It's 12-9. Yellow Jackets and Thunder each made their way to the NCAA tournament a year ago, and each fell one win shy of reaching the Sweet 16. But both have a lot of quality pieces coming back, and both have pretty high expectations for 2019-2020 season. Trine down by 3, approaching the 3-minute mark of the first quarter, and another Trine giveaway. That's the second Trine turnover on that end of the floor. Trine changing a number of pieces here. Sophie Slonaker comes on, as does, I believe, J.C. Parrott. Sydney Diedrich checks in for the Yellow Jackets. First time we've seen her tonight, along with Sydney Snyder. Skip pass over to Hensel, who almost tripped over the footing of, I think it was of a coach. Yeah, okay. It's going to stay on this end here. Andy Rang was scratching his head a little bit. All right, so it's Jacket ball. Marshall, Diedrich, Hughes, Snyder, and Hensel here. From the left corner, and Snyder can't put it home. All right, so Trine on the offensive end. Down by 3. They'll try the left-hand side where Kaylee Argyle's made her way out there. Kaylee, the older sister to Alyssa, who's also on the roster. Little drive this time from Ms. Argyle, and with the left hand, makes it a 1-point game, 12-11. Hughes is open. She'll take the 3 ball. And bangs off the back of the rim. Former Springboro Panther from down in the Dayton area couldn't quite put that one in. Back to work on the defensive end. This has been a good game so far. The Jackets got off to a quick start at an 8-0 lead, but since then, Trine has answered nicely. And a travel. Sophie Slonaker got a bit crossed up there as Hannah Fecht returns for Megan Hensel. 1:30 left on the opening quarter. A couple of other games going on tonight around the OAC, but not until a little later on. At 6 o'clock, Wilmington will play Shawnee State, and Marietta plays the Otterbein Cardinals this evening at 7. Hannah Fecht got whacked on the arm on the way down the left lane, so she'll go to the free throw line. Last year, Trine University with a double overtime win over Hope in the MIAA championship game. And it was a bit of retribution for them because 2 years ago they lost to Hope in overtime in the conference tournament championship. And boy, does that Hope team look good again this year as Hannah Fecht connects on both free throws. Hope is number 4 in the country. They are 11-0. There are 4 teams that are undefeated: Tufts, Scranton, Bowdoin, and Hope. who are considered the top 4 teams in the nation, all unbeaten. And then teams 5 through 13 all have 1 loss. As we get an and 1 on the other end of the floor, I believe. Or did they count the bucket? Nope. Well, perhaps I didn't see it correctly. I sure thought that the ball went through. All right, so a couple free throws for Hope. And the first one for J.C. Parrott spins away. Anyways, according to D3Hoops.com, Mary Hardin-Baylor, Amherst, Wartburg, DePaul, George Fox, DeSales, Wisconsin Lacrosse, Messiah, and Whitman. Those are the teams ranked 5 through 13 in the national poll, and they all have 1 loss, and they are all ahead of BW, as Casey Hughes is called for the travel. So in the eyes of those nationally, Baldwin Wallace's undefeated start to the season is very impressive, but perhaps their strength of schedule is not quite what folks expected it would be. Skidmore and Rochester, St. Vincent, W&J, the other 4 non-conference teams the Jackets have seen so far. Nearing the end of the first quarter, Parrott, tough shot, puts it in over the outstretched arms of the Jacket defense. And it's a 1-point game here. BW 14, Trine 13. And the shot clock is off with 20 seconds left in the first. This is Kara Marshall holding with 10 seconds. Back to Hannah Fecht. Back to Marshall. 3 seconds for Kara. Trying to get it off in time. She does, and it goes in. Kara Marshall beats the first quarter buzzer. Baldwin Wallace 16, Trine 13. 10 minutes down, 10 to go in the first half here in Berea. First quarter stats for you with the Yellow Jackets out front of the Trine Thunder by a tally of 16 to 13. BW has taken 5 more shots in large part because their offensive rebounding has been very good. The Jackets are +5 on the glass, and they have 5 offensive rebounds. BW hit 5 of 15 in the first quarter. Trine 6 of 10. They're shooting it well, but they had not rebounded nearly as well as BW did in the opening 10 minutes. Other than that, pretty even across the board. Each team with 3 turnovers. The Jackets, though, have 4 assists on 5 made buckets. They're sharing it nicely. Snyder finds Schill in the forecourt as the Jackets transition. Back to Riley Schill. And now Casey Hughes. Leading scorer in the game is BW's Hannah Fecht. At an early 3 and a couple free throws. She's got 5. Hughes wants to measure, and she hits her second 3. So now Casey Hughes leads the way with 6, and the Jackets have a 19-13 lead. And what is their biggest lead since they were up 8-0 to start the contest? That one almost spun home for Katie Steers. Not quite, though. Continuing to sing Trine's praises here. This is such a disciplined team, and they take care of the ball so well. How about this? Trine doesn't even average 14 turnovers per game. They are plus almost 8 in the turnover margin department per game this year. If you force 8 more turnovers than you give away most nights, geez, you're going to win a lot of basketball games. You sure would think so. First free throw went down. And count the second one, too. Katie Steers connects on both. 19-15. Fecht between the rings. Goes back to the right. Minute plus gone here in the second quarter. Jackets have never trailed, but they've never led by more than 8 either. Trine playing just fine here on the road. Over the top to Fecht. And Hannah mishandled it, got it back. Couldn't shoot it before the shot clock expired with somewhat of a sarcastic smile on her face. Trine shoots the 3-ball well as a team, but they also defend it exceptionally well. Their opponents are only 28% from behind the 3-point line this year, which is interesting because the Jackets consider themselves to be a pretty good 3-point shooting team. Not quite the same level that Trine is, but they certainly like to shoot them. There's a 3-ball from Kayla Wildman. And the youngster from Rockford, Michigan, brings it to a 1-point affair, 19-18 BW. Good cut through the paint. Hensel's got such good basketball IQ. That one goes off Megan, out of bounds though. Lily Edwards back out there. And Fecht will sit for a few minutes. And Trine with a basket here could take their first lead of the evening. It's a doubleheader today. The men will play Trine coming up roughly 7 o'clock, but there should be, at a minimum, 30 minutes between games, so hopefully it won't be a terribly long wait between the two contests. Apparently Megan Scheibelhut committed a foul there, and so we'll see a couple foul shots for Wildman. Boy, this Trine team really has some impressive size. You don't see a lot of teams that have big guards at the Division III level. Wildman is certainly one of them at 5'10", but they trust a lot of these players. 5'10", Katie Slonaker, Sophie Slonaker, who is her twin sister, also 5'10", 6-foot guard, and Tara Benevich. Benevich on the floor right now as well. 5'9", Alyssa Argyle, that's taller than average at Division III for their guards. I mean, you think about some of the Yellow Jacket guards. Riley Schill's been a starter ever since she came on campus. She's terrific. She's only 5'6". You can't really coach height. Edwards from inside the right elbow. Couldn't spin it home. Good effort, though. Casey Hughes only 5'4". So I can see why this Trine team both handles it well, but frankly defends well, because if you get everybody to buy in and your guards want to play defense, that can really make a big difference. Lily Edwards makes it a perfect 5 for 5 so far for the Yellow Jackets as a team from the free throw line. 20-20, and now the Jackets lead by 1. This is one of a handful of games that BW is hoping they can really hang their hats on by season's end when it comes to looking at the out-of-conference schedule. This one up, and it just didn't drop in there. Hensel back to the free throw line for Lily Edwards with 6:45 left in this first half. And Lily is called not for a travel, but instead for a jump ball. She got stuffed right where she was. Gabby Garrett comes on for Tiffany Bentler. How about this tournament coming up the Yellow Jackets are going to play in out in Iowa, when they're going to go out and travel to Wartburg. There are 4 fantastic programs that Sherry Harrer is excited to put her team up against. More about that in a second. Schill has to let it fly. Just off target. The Knights from Wartburg College 2 years ago were in the national semifinals. They went to the D3 Final Four. They were actually the team that knocked the Thunder out of the tournament 2 years back in the Sweet 16. Jackets lead by 1, 21-20. Just more than 6 minutes left in the first half. And Baldwin Wallace is going to play against Wartburg, who is currently ranked 7th in the country. That game's coming up on December the 29th. Scheibelhut and Schill come out. Let's see, Sydney Diedrich, Kara Marshall, Megan Hensel, Lily Edwards, Gabby Garrett, the 5 on the floor now for BW. So anyways, the Jackets have Wartburg College. The other 2 teams are really good. Wisconsin Lacrosse is 8-1. They're ranked 11th in the country. This one put up from the top of the key, and it's up and in. Another 3-ball for the visiting Thunder. And they have a 23-21 lead after Shea Herbert beat the Jackets from long distance. BW trying to answer on the other end. Didn't quite happen. Fighting for that rebound, and Lily Edwards called for the foul. And the other team that will be out in Iowa are the Bears from Washington University in St. Louis, who are 6-2 on the season. Wash U with losses this year to Loras and to DePauw. Well, DePauw is 10-1. They are always among the best teams in the nation. And Loras is 7-1, and they're having a terrific season. Wash U at 6-2 has beaten a couple of pretty good teams as well. So you just kind of look up and down the schedule and think, okay, if you're a Yellow Jacket, you're going to play a couple of premier teams in the country no matter who you end up with out in Iowa. And it could really help bolster the Yellow Jackets' resume, even though they won't be regionally ranked opponents. They would certainly be outside your region. And effect, split the defense, couldn't spin it in there. Trine by 4 on a bit of a run here. 25-21, Thunder out front. On the right side, Benevich back up top. Wildman's open and hits the heel of the rim. Herbert trying to jar it free, but it still came back to the brown and gold. Gabby Garrett, coast to coast, and to the free throw line. Trine's hit 9 of 17 from the floor. That's too good if you're a Yellow Jacket. Visiting Thunder are shooting 53%. Baldwin Wallace has hit only 6 of 20. It's 30%. And they need to get it going here. The second quarter has not been kind to BW offensively. Remember, they led at the first intermission 16-13, but they've been outscored now 12-6, including that free throw, since then. Garrett helps the team's cause and cuts it to a 2-point hole. 25-23. Thunder playing things through Sam Underhill. So hand this one off to Steers. Actually, beg your pardon, that's Slonaker. Sophie Slonaker in the game here. From the left side of the key, off the front of the rim. Underhill couldn't finish it. And they pull it in. Parrott. Deflected up in the air. Kara Marshall has it. Trying to work around the defense, and Kara holds her ground. BW could tie or take the lead here, down 2. Effect not getting a lot of shooting space. Good defense from Andy Rang's team. Effect wants to play from out front and misses the 3 badly. That was way short. Well, since the 5 offensive rebounds the Jackets had in the first quarter, they've only had 1 here in the second quarter. Oh, sweet crossover move. But Steers can't finish right underneath the basket. Gets her own miss, and then Hannah Feck called for the foul. So Feck picks up her first, and now Edwards and Snyder will come on to replace Garrett and Diedrich. Trine 25, Baldwin Wallace 23 with 3 minutes and 8 seconds left in this opening half. Hits off the left side of the rim, doesn't go in. Trine's now missed 3 out of their 7 free throws. That one goes. Well, on the season, in general, they've been pretty good. 73% as a team. 7 points now for Steers, and she'll head off the floor here. All right, Jackets down 3 with 3 minutes to go before halftime. Marshall finds Snyder. Hannah wants to take the 3. She does it in rhythm. Edwards couldn't tip the rebound around. She got boxed out pretty well. Trine's length is really challenging. Good ball movement. Rachel Stewart gets it underneath. Underhill, back to Stewart. Right wing Sloniker cuts in and missed it off the front of the rim, but got her own miss. Wow, she missed 2 in a row. That's pretty unlike her. Jacket defense holds strong. And effect. Skips it over the top. They work it into Riley Schill. Fakes once, puts it up and missed it, but Feck crashed the glass. Remember, it didn't hit the rim, so there's only 7 to shoot here. Hannah wants a screen. Then she throws it to Edwards. Lily, I don't think she got that off in time. Oh my goodness, they gave it to her. Wow. Boy, the Jackets stole 2 points there. There's no way Lily Edwards got that shot off in time. 26-25, Trine by 1 with 1:30 to go before halftime. On the right side, Stewart. Step back from the free throw line, and she misses to the right. Good box out from Edwards. So the Jackets can take the lead here. Kara Marshall for 3. 28-26 BW. Jackets just hit their 4th three-pointer of the first half. Kaylee Argyle, they work it underneath. Underhill turns it with the right hand, misfires to the right. BW feeling like they could have some separation coming here. Good look under the basket. Marshall and the foul. Great sequence from Baldwin Wallace. Rachel Stewart called for the personal. Several changes on both sides as Herbert and Taylor, along with Steers, both come back. Sophie Sloniker still in there with Kayla Wildman. For the Jackets, Marshall hits the free throw. Scheibelhut, Hensel, Snyder, and Schill out there too. Roughly 10 seconds between game and shot clock. Steers goes down the right lane, a little out of control. Got her own miss, and then got fouled. Boy, BW, first, 5.5 to 6 minutes of this second quarter, the Jackets' offense was stagnant at best. But they have resurrected and all of a sudden lead the game by 5, 31-26. And it stays that way. Trine's red-hot start from the floor, where you might remember I said just a few minutes ago they were shooting 53%. Now they're 9 of 24, and they are struggling from the free throw line tonight. Steers splits the pair there, so they're 6 of 11 from the stripe in the first half. Perhaps the difference in the game right now is that BW is 9 for 9 from the free throw line. Shot clock is off here, and Riley Schill can hold for the final possession if she wants to. We're at 12 seconds. Everybody spread out. Riley with 6 seconds. Snyder. Oh, she banked it in! Snyder laughing about it. What a shot. Baldwin Wallace hits a bank 3 at the buzzer. And after Trine had a brief lead and had the Yellow Jackets playing on their heels. All of a sudden, Baldwin Wallace goes into the locker room with a 7-point lead. How about that? It was 25-21 Trine with 5:41 left in the second quarter. Trine led 25-21. They scored 2 points the rest of the quarter. The Jackets scored 13 points. And they lead it by 7 going into the locker room. Live stats available on bwyellowjackets.com if you'd like to follow along with the game. The Yellow Jackets in the first half at 37%, 5 threes, including that buzzer beater, a perfect 9 of 9 from the free throw line, led by Kara Marshall's 8 points, 6 for Casey Hughes, 5 for Hannah Fecht. Katie Steers, 8 points, 5 for Kayla Wildman, 5 for Shea Herbert. We'll step aside during halftime and come on back with the second half coverage coming up shortly. Good one here in the Great Lakes region. It's the Yellow Jackets and the Thunder. At halftime, the Jackets lead by 7 on bwyellowjackets.com. Baldwin Wallace closes the first half on a 13-2 run, and they have a 7-point lead as we prepare to start the second half here in Berea on BWYellowJackets.com. I'm Brendan Gulick. Coverage tonight brought to you by Jimmy John's in Middleburg Heights. We're freaky fast, so your sandwich arrives freaky fresh. Call us at 440-625-0745, or you can order online at jimmyjohns.com. Also by the Crown Plaza in Middleburg Heights. If you're looking for a quality place to stay before or after any Yellow Jacket contest, choose the Crown Plaza. So it's 34-27 as the Jackets and Thunder switch ends of the floor. BW moving left to right here the way you see it at home. Fecht, Marshall, Scheibelhut, Hughes, and Schill, the 5 for BW. Jackets didn't shoot it great from behind the three-point line, but good enough. And they did steal one right at the end of the half. Frankly, it probably felt like a 5-point gut punch for Trine, because the 3-ball from Snyder that beat the buzzer at the end of the half, and the the Jackets have to let this go. Marshall from way downtown misses it. Anyways, the Jackets also had a 2-point basket that counted when it shouldn't have on a shot clock violation. So we'll see if Trine can overcome it. They're on the road looking for win number 6 against a 7-0 Baldwin Wallace team favored to win the OAC this year. On the right wing, good move from Benevich. Worked it around left side, steers just a little bit too far. The Jackets take it back. And Fecht has an opening, takes it, but misfires. On the offensive end of the floor, Trine goes back to work and quickly draws a whistle. Casey Hughes commits the foul, her third, and so she'll probably sit for a little bit here with Tiffany Bentler back in there. Now, both these two teams protect the basketball so well on average this year. Not surprised to see a fairly small number of turnovers in the first half, but I am a little surprised to see how foul happy these two teams have been. And Fecht just committed her second. The Yellow Jackets and Thunder have combined here for 14 fouls in about 21 and a half minutes. A little more than what the usual Yellow Jacket games have shown this year. Hey, don't forget the men's game coming up here at roughly 7 o'clock. There will be a minimum of 30 minutes put on the timer between the end of this game and the beginning of the men's game, but we are anticipating a 7 o'clock tip-off. Really important matchup on the men's side, too, as these two teams try to go into their Christmas holiday on the right foot. Trine's men's team has been very good the last few years, and no exception this year. 34-28. Jackets turn it over. Shea Herbert will inbound. A little lapse in focus here for BW in the beginning of the second half. Good hard screen from Kelsey Taylor. They don't get a shot out of it right away. Wildman back up top. Herbert from the right elbow. High arcing shot, uses the window for 2. 34-30. Tiffany Bentler to the right side. Kara Marshall. Scheibelhut along the baseline, and she stepped on the brown paint. The Yellow Jackets are in a real dogfight tonight. Lily Edwards in for Megan Scheibelhut. There's only 15 schools out of the 450 that are still undefeated. The Yellow Jackets are one of them. From the right corner, good fake and drive. Wildman then lobs it toward Benevich. Outstanding defense from Riley Schill. From the right side, it's a Porter 3-ball. No. Beg your pardon, that's actually Steers. I thought for a second that seemed odd that Alexa Porter would be on the floor at this moment. Riley Schill from just around the elbow. Edwards down the left side. Got it. Lily Edwards with 6, and the Jacket lead balloons back to a half dozen. Benevich, top of the arc, 3 ball on the way, it's good. 36-33, Benevich, 6 of her own. And all of a sudden, you're starting to feel some of the tension here in the arena. Marshall didn't go flying into Taylor with the right amount of authority. She faded away from her and gave Taylor an easy block. And then the Jackets didn't get back, and now they lead only by 1. Sherry Harrer standing with her hands on her hips. A bit of a frustrated look. Bentler working on Wildman, splits the defense, no. But another offensive rebound. Marshall wide open, and she cans it. 39-35. This is far and away the best team the Yellow Jackets have played so far this season. And Trine is making it awfully tough on BW. Offensive end, good block, but Herbert got fouled. I think the foul is on Tiffany Bentler. Hensel did a nice job with her positioning, but it was the first foul whistled on Tiffany Bentler. So she comes out, so does Hensel and Marshall. Diedrich, Edwards, Garrett, Fecht, and Schill now on the floor. Meanwhile, looks like Sam Underhill, Katie Steers, Shea Herbert, Rachel Stewart, and Tara Benevich will stay on the floor for the Trine Thunder. Boy, oh boy. What is going on with Trine from the free throw line? The Yellow Jackets could call for another foul. That's the Yellow Jackets' 4th foul in what feels like the blink of an eye here. Garrett tries to steal the inbound, and she jars it free. Top of the arc, Underhill to her right. Benevich in a little trouble. Herbert gives way to Katie Steers along the baseline, throws it to nobody in particular. That's the 5th Trine turnover. The Yellow Jackets have only scored 2 points off the first 4 Trine turnovers. Meanwhile, BW's given it away 9 times, and it's turned into 14 Thunder points. Inside 5:20, 3rd quarter. Jackets by 4. Edwards, yes sir, and the foul. First foul on Sam Underhill, team first, and Lily Edwards with an and one. Oh, the free throw popped out. First Yellow Jacket miss from the line all night, now 9 of 10. Driving up the floor, Steers stutters and scores it. In the left corner, Gabby Garrett fakes. She wants to drive. Started to pass, but Benevich touched it last, and the ball bounced out of bounds. Kelsey Taylor returns, Kara Marshall returns. Certainly get the vibe that this game has a playoff type feel to it. Fecht in the left corner. Hannah goes behind your back. Edwards from around the left elbow. Finds Fecht again, but traveled before she passed it away. The Yellow Jackets 41, Thunder 37, 4:47 left in the third. Kale Wildman back in there. Kaylee Argyle also returns. Well, Trine certainly misses Brandy Dawson. She scored almost 1,700 points, almost 600 rebounds. She started all but one of the 111 games in her career. Former Conference Player of the Year. She was a superstar. I think some of their offensive issues at times this year are around trying to figure out who's going to be their new primary scorer. Benevich has been good. Wildman has been good. And jump ball sends it back the other way. But when you combine Dawson's loss with Montana Martin, who played 110 games in her career, but only started as a senior, and Cassidy Williams, who scored 875 points in her tenure. Talking about three players in particular for Trine that were just super impactful. And I think in Trine's 2 losses this year, second game of the year against Ohio Wesleyan, and when they played at University of Chicago and dropped a 9-point game in overtime against a very good Maroons team who's nationally ranked. They were just missing that little extra edge that they've gotten pretty used to having the last couple years. Well, maybe today's the kind of day the Thunder feel like they can round into shape. Rachel Stewart's 3, no. Garrett might have sold that a little bit, but gets the benefit of the call on the Argyle foul. I don't think any coach in America that coaches collegiate basketball would disagree with this statement. But when you have a senior-laden team and when your seniors have a lot of minutes underneath your belt, in general, you feel like you've got a chance to have a really good year. It's kind of hard, especially at the Division III level, to catch lightning in a bottle and get a bunch of underclassmen who can really play right away. Diedrich pops away the 3. Scheibelhut diving for it, couldn't come up with it. But when you've got a bunch of senior guards the way the Yellow Jackets do, in Schill, Hughes, Marshall, and Fecht in particular, you've got a certain backbone that should give you an advantage. Finally a foul call. The first one was stripped clean, but not the second. And that advantage can come in a lot of different ways. Sometimes it's frankly just about not being, shrinking in the moment, not having the moment too big for you, and recognizing the importance of non-conference games. The Jackets started the year last year on a great run. They only lost one of their first 11, one of their first 12. That one loss came to Thomas More, who won the whole thing. Won the national championship again last year. Thomas More is now an NAIA school. Another split from the free throw line. Boy, Trine's not going to have to stare too long at the box score at the end of the game if they come up short. Figure out why. 8 of 16 from the free throw line. It's so unlike them. They're averaging 73% for the year as a team. They have been much worse than that tonight as Scheibelhut misses from point-blank range and then got fouled on her putback try. It's only a one-possession game. BW 41, Trine 38 with 2:47 left in the third. So a lot of games still in front of us. But BW has been pretty good from the charity line so far tonight. 9 out of 10. And Scheibelhut continues that. Sophomore out of Elyria Catholic High School, an Avon Lake native over on the west side of Cleveland. Obviously, there's a couple of Elyria Catholic young ladies on this team. Riley Schill and her younger sister, Reagan. Shea Cooper returns. Trine in trouble. Feed it underneath. Herbert missed it. Over on the left side of the floor, Hensel couldn't keep it under control. 43-38. BW by a handful. 2:22 left in the third quarter. Benevich. She is dangerous. Steers. Feeds the low post. Wildman. Oh, there must be a lid on the basket. Schill watching teammates stand around at the moment. Under 2 to play in the third. Jacket lead is 5. Snyder hit the bank 3 to beat the halftime buzzer. Marshall laid one in to beat the first quarter horn. Snyder missed that, goes right back underneath to Kara, who fakes and got blocked. Benevich just wouldn't give up on it. Steers, fearless down the right side, even though she throws one up a bit wildly. Riley Schill. Hands to Hensel. Back to Riley. Looking for an opening. The Jackets catching their breath here. 10 seconds. Riley Schill 4-3. Was halfway home before it popped away. There's plenty of time. If Trine wanted to, they could go 2 for 1. They gotta hurry though. They might just hold here. Benevich takes the 3 and puts it in. They will go 2 for 1. Shot clock is ticking down. About a 4-second difference between game and shot clock. Benevich has 11. Kara Marshall has 11. Those are our individual leaders. BW by just 2. 8 to shoot, 12 to play. Hensel spins, lost it. Scheibel Hutt got fouled with 2 seconds on the shot clock. Megan Scheibel Hutt got fouled. J.C. Parrott, Kelsey Taylor both back in. And effect returns Gabby Garrett. Let's see, the Yellow Jackets trying to make sure they get all of their assignments right here. Megan Scheibel Hutt puts the first free throw up, long and right. 6.0, exactly 6 seconds left to shoot here in the third quarter. Scheibel Hutt missed them both. Trine's got to hurry. Katie Steers all the way to the rack. Fades away, and it didn't have a chance. Scheibel Hutt deflected it. And the Yellow Jackets have a 43-41 lead after 3 quarters. It was an offensively challenging quarter for BW. Only 9 points after they scored 34 in the first half. But they've got a 43-41 lead. Quick timeout. Be right back here in Berea. Ready to rock and roll for the fourth quarter. The Yellow Jackets did not shoot the ball very well in the third, just 3 of 11 from the floor, but they still have a 43-41 lead. Ever since BW raced out to an 8-0 start to the game, and Trine came quickly pouring back into that, the game's been played within a 10-point margin. The Jackets since then have not led by more than 7. I guess it's an 11-point margin because it was 7 at halftime. So the Jackets have not led by more than 7 since then, and Trine has never led by more than 4. And Effect off the inbound on the foul on the left side. Hughes, Garrett, Schill, Edwards, and Fecht. And the good thing about this BW team, it really doesn't seem to matter which group is out there. As Hannah Fecht with some touch from right inside the key puts it home. They use so many different combinations of players on the floor. It's been part of the reason why they've gone undefeated so far. Benevich threw a bounce pass into the paint. Gabby Garrett was waiting for it right behind Shea Herbert. And then a foul on Benevich. Third on Tara. Don't forget, coming up next, the Trine and Baldwin Wallace men's game. Roughly a 7 o'clock start, but depends on the conclusion of this one. There'll be at least 30 minutes on the clock between games as Hannah Fecht tries a three and puts it in. Hannah Fecht stretches the lead back to 7. She's got 5 straight points, 10 for the afternoon. 8:58 left to play, and the Jackets have a 48-41 lead. Baldwin Wallace 48, Trine 41 on BWYellowJackets.com. Coverage tonight sponsored by Medical Mutual of Ohio, the official healthcare provider for Baldwin Wallace University, and by American International. If you require a company with proven performance, rely on American International. Hannah Fecht with 10, Kara Marshall with 11 to lead the way for BW as Kelsey Taylor can't understand how that one didn't go home. I don't blame her. Taylor is 0 for 6 shooting the ball, but that was more than halfway down. Edwards sidesteps the defense, missed it. Gabby Garrett pulls it away, and right now the Yellow Jackets' ability to hit their free throws and to rebound on the offensive end has given them a 7-point lead. Fecht over to Riley Schill, who can't buy a bucket tonight. With that miss, Riley Schill is 1 of 8. You might not see that the rest of the year. Riley is wildly talented, and tonight's just not been her night. But finding other ways to impact the game. It's a travel on the Thunder. Kayla Wildman returns, and Kara Marshall back in for BW. We've got 7 minutes and 59 seconds here. That timeout that was just called a couple of minutes ago, well, not even, by Trine, was the first timeout called by either team all game. Jackets have 5, Trine have 4 left. Taylor poked it away from Edwards. Loose on the floor, Garrett picked it up and she got fouled. Shea Herbert, can't believe it. She was sitting on the floor, but you can't impede the progress of the offensive player. And Herbert was in the wrong place at the wrong time. Not a huge deal, but Shea will come out here with her 3rd. Benevich also has 3 fouls, but not taking her off the floor. Not sure they can afford to. And Fecht holding it here. Garrett on the right side, guarded closely by Wildman. Gabby down the right side. Boy, she almost got fouled. Instead, lost it. Scheibelhut put it up, and it just wouldn't fall in from the back of the rim. Jeez, oh man. How about a baseline jumper from Underhill from just a few feet out? Nope. Casey Hughes here. Inside 7 minutes to go, and Casey gets fouled from behind. I don't think Steers meant to foul her, but Casey almost tripped over the ball there. All right, so all of a sudden, Trine finds themselves in the same predicament BW was in the third quarter, as Hughes easily dumps it underneath the Scheibelhut. And that predicament is that Trine's committed 4 fouls, and we haven't even played 3.5 minutes yet in the fourth quarter. BW with their largest lead of the game. It's 50-41. Trine has unraveled here late, but not yet over. Quick timeout on the floor. Here come the Trine Thunder offensively. Not too late for Trine to try and figure it out. They've missed their first 2 shots here in the fourth quarter and have coughed it up in addition. Taylor to the right side, Steers driving on Casey Hughes, and she's blocked from behind. Megan Scheibelhut says not right now. Well done by the sophomore post player. Wildman, step back, 2 ball, way short. Not even close. And effect. Good bounce pass. Scheibelhut slipped behind it. They drew the defense to Hannah. And now the Jackets lead it by 11. This has been a really impressive showing in the second half from Baldwin Wallace. Did not shoot it well early in the third quarter, but the Jackets have stepped into a different rhythm as Wildman gets called for a travel. Again, there's still 6 minutes left in the game, and with the way Trine plays defense, this game can still turn. But Trine gives up, on average, 49 points per game. The Jackets are already at 52. And Trine is scuffling here in the fourth quarter. Casey Hughes. Right side, Hensel. Skips it over to Diedrich. 7 to shoot. Hands to Hughes, 3 to let it go. Casey had it rejected, never hit the rim. Hold on a second, the referees never blew the whistle to stop play, but I mean, that ball never hit the rim. If you're the Yellow Jackets, you got to play through the whistle. Let's see what the call is here. They're saying it's BW ball on the inbound. Well, there isn't much of a argument. Perhaps it's because the ball was deflected into the backboard. I don't know. Well, we're going to look back on this as perhaps a turning point of the fourth quarter, though. Well done. Sydney Diedrich, her first basket of the entire night. And Trine is all of a sudden in a world of hurt. 54-41. Stays that way after the missed foul shot. Steers goes bowling into Casey Hughes. I really would love an explanation as to why that was not called a shot clock violation on the other end. But when Bob Domenico went over and explained it to Andy Rang, he wasn't irate at the explanation, so it must have been one that he could understand. Riley Schill helps force a turnover there. Hensel up the floor. Diedrich. Lily Edwards fakes right, drives left, but misses. Gets her own miss, and doesn't miss that time. (56-41). BW has outscored Trine in the fourth quarter 11-0. Garrett dribbles it off her foot. Good defense from Steers. Didn't commit the foul. Trine cannot buy a basket here. The last time they scored was on the Tara Benevich three-pointer with 48 seconds left in the third quarter. This has gotten a long way away from where Trine had really worked it to. From the top of the arc, that one lands out of bounds on an air ball. I mean, this is just remarkable. This Trine team is really good. If you're a Yellow Jacket fan, you should feel good about the fact that BW has a 15-point lead over a really good team. But my goodness, I can't understand how all of a sudden Trine is just falling apart offensively. Nothing is going in for them at all. 4 minutes, 10 seconds left in the game. Riley Schill. The Jackets are standing around. Now we're inside 4 minutes. Hensel with 5 to shoot. Goes up top to Hannah Fecht. Hannah wants to drive, and the three-point specialist missed it. Diedrich on her putback. Didn't go in. Trine makes a sub here. Sophia Craig come on. A young lady out of Westfield, Indiana. And she's in for Benevich. Not sure if Tara's done for the night or if she's just over for a quick breather. Either way, a 15-point game with 3:40 to play. From right in front of the basket. Oh my goodness. Rachel Stewart couldn't get it to go in. Trine has gone 7 minutes without a basket here. Diedrich finds Schill behind her. Riley with the Mikan drill. Didn't quite go in. Down the right lane. Finally. Almost 8-minute scoring drought. Shea Herbert lays it in. She's got 10, but it's 56-43 with 2 minutes and 50 seconds left. Baldwin Wallace is looking at going to 8-0. If they can hang on over the final couple minutes. Herbert refusing to make it easy. Diedrich grabs it. Schill dribbles it off of Stewart's, or I should say Craig's foot. Casey Hughes, Lily Edwards, both back in for Garrett and Hensel. Hughes cuts around the defense, rejected on the back end of the play. Good job by Shea Herbert. Thunder have numbers. From the left side, the three hits the front of the rim, and Riley Schill grabs the long rebound. Hannah Fecht with 2 minutes to go. Steps through the key, and the Jackets taking off precious time as Craig barrels into Casey Hughes. 2 shots coming for Casey. Hughes on the season entered 60% from the free throw line. 9 of 15 this year. Meanwhile, Kaylee Argyle returns. And Katie Steers heads to the bench. Big men's game coming up. The Trine Thunder and the BW Yellow Jackets at 7 o'clock here in Berea. Hope you'll stick with us for coverage of the men's game as well. Hughes puts it home. 1:55 to play. Give Casey 8 points as she comes out. And the Jacket lead is 15 as Kara Marshall returns. Well, I mentioned earlier, Trine beat Hope last year in double overtime in the conference championship game. That's their next one. They've got Hope coming up. The game will be at Trine before they finish the regular season. Those two teams playing at Hope. I would imagine that Hope would be a little bit of a favorite in that game, given what they've done so far this year at 11-0 and working on a 12th win tonight. They've got a sizable lead. But Thunder fans are anxious to play the Dutch. 5 to shoot it for Riley Schill with 1:05 to play. It's Lily Edwards off the side of the rim. This has been some kind of fourth quarter. The Jackets have outscored Trine 15-2 in the fourth quarter. That's just window dressing from Shea Herbert. Not going to affect the outcome of the game, but certainly makes her feel a little bit better. Give her 13 points. And the clock is winding here from 42 seconds. The Jacket lead is 12. So Baldwin Wallace will go 8-0, and they've got 2 huge games coming up after Christmas. They'll play Wartburg at Wartburg, and depending on the result of that game and the result of the other game in the tournament, they'll play either Wisconsin Lacrosse or Washington University. And all 3 of those opponents are outstanding as Lily Edwards picks off a pass. What a fourth quarter. Trine scored 1 basket from inside and 1 from the perimeter. 5 points in the fourth quarter. And the Yellow Jackets put away the Thunder. It's a Yellow Jacket winner, 58-46. Sherry Harrer's team goes to 8-0. Trine falls to 5-3 on the season. And for Sherry Harrer, the 600 win watch is very much a part of this season. That's victory number 592. 592 wins, 221 losses in her 30th season on the job. Sherry Harrer closing in on 600. Hall of Fame head coach has her team playing very well here at the beginning of this season. If you're not sticking around for the men's game, thanks for joining us. And from all of us here at Baldwin Wallace, want to wish you a happy holiday season. The Yellow Jackets with a very impressive second half, and they put away the Thunder. Final score 58-46. I'm Brendan Gulick. Thanks for tuning in tonight. Coverage sponsored to you by the Cleveland Clinic Sports Health Division, the official healthcare provider for BW Athletics, and by the Courtyard by Marriott and Town Place Suites in Middleburg Heights. Stick around. The men's game will get underway in about 35 minutes here in Berea.